my story here on this wonderful event today, which we will celebrate or which we will learn more about the knowledge of coffee, passion, and art, culture. So before I start with my coffee tasting, I would like to share a short story of how my journey began here in Starbucks. So when I joined Starbucks, I really don't have any idea about coffee industry. My previous job before is like I'm only a call center agent, so I really don't have any idea. So by that time, whenever we are doing coffee tasting as a new joiner, I only taste bitterness of the coffee. So due to my curiosity and passion to learn, I started to brew my own coffee. By then, I started to recognize and determine the acidity, body, and flavors of coffee. I started to determine that they have differences when it comes to those three things. And I also started to learn the process of how it became coffee. So from coffee planting, cultivating, harvesting, from processing to roasting. I was able to, from processing to roasting, to how Starbucks process and source their coffee, and how it greatly affects the livelihood of us, especially our farmers. So, okay, as of now, I'm still learning. This is my very first competition that I joined for the entire years that I've been working. So, I hope you can get along with me. So, yes, now I'm gonna go, without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and start with the fundamentals of brewing. So, we have four: proportion, grind, water, and freshness. So for the proportion is the ratio of coffee to water. So it allows the proper extraction of coffee's full flavor. So we need to make sure that the proportion is right on every or different brewing method that we're using. So for this one, I use for C press, it is the 27 grams of coffee to 490 ml of water. So if you use too much little, by the way, if you use too little coffee, it will give us bitter taste, and if you use too much coffee, it will give us a watery taste. So we need to make sure that we are doing the right proportion. So for the grind, I use French press. Grind determines how long the coffee is in contact with water and how much coffee flavor is extracted. So if we use too fine grind, it will result to a bitter taste, and if we use too coarse grind, it will give us a watery taste. And the third one is the water. There are two things that we need to manage: purity and temperature. So for purity, we need to make sure that the water is clean, without any chemicals like chlorine or sulfur. We need to make sure that it is a filtered water. And for temperature, the full and proper extraction of coffee occurs between 90 to 96 degrees Celsius, or also equivalent to 195 degrees Fahrenheit, 205 degrees Fahrenheit. And for the freshness, for proportion, grind, water, and freshness, we have four enemies of coffee. So that is light, heat, moisture, and oxygen. Light here, moisture, and oxygen. So we need to make sure that we are also preventing to put our coffee in the fridge. And also that's why Starbucks created two things: the flavor lock technology and a unique thing which is what we call one-way valve. We can prevent the coffee from getting heated light, and moisture, but oxygen, I think that is the greatest enemy of the coffee, because oxygen is everywhere. It is around us. So this is a very unique way to be created by Starbucks, and it releases the oxygen and prevents from coming in. So I really like this one, the idea of this one. And so now we're gonna proceed on the steps of coffee tasting. So we have four: smell, slurp, locate, and describe. So for the smell of the coffee, we will be able to get the aroma. And for smelling, we need to make sure that we're covering the cup using our hands, like 70% of it covered. And we need to make sure that we're inhaling the coffee, not just by smelling it. So inhale the coffee. You can close your eyes so that you can feel the smell of the coffee, the aroma, with full heart. Okay. So what do you
I smell some woody flavor.
Yeah, woody. Also for you, sir?
Chocolate.
Yeah, for me, rosiness. I'm always rosiness. So smelling is important because our nose can detect thousands of smell. So not because in taste we have only 4. So that's soury, bitter, sweet, and taste. Umami. Sorry, umami for that. Salty, sorry. Favorite one, salty. And so the next step is we will, oh by the way, the aroma. We will be able to determine where the growing region is by the aroma. So this is nuts rose in the Latin America region. So for the next one is slurp. We need to make sure that we are slurping the coffee louder so that it could spread into entire palates and for us to prevent from our tongue burning. So now it's gonna start to slurp the coffee. So for the coffee, tasting the coffee, we'll be able to get the acidity. So for you, what?
Medium.
Medium, yeah. Also for medium. For you, sir?
Same medium.
I think that I got the right version in all this one. And so yes, for that one, we will be able to determine the acidity of the coffee by the processing method that we are using in Starbucks, which is washed and semi-washed. So this coffee is the almost wash process. So that's why the acidity is medium. And the next one is locate. So we can drink water to clear our palates, and then we start to slurp again the coffee, so we could determine the body of the coffee. So body of the coffee is like example you're drinking mango juice and orange juice. And for us to easily determine it, like we can slurp the coffee, we can leave the coffee in the middle of our tongue for a while, so we could see or we can feel the weight or thickness of the coffee. And so the next step is, after we locate, we're gonna go ahead and proceed for the food pairing. So there are 2 things that we need to consider with regards on food pairing. That's contrasting and complementing. So I want to thank our previous DPC for passing that knowledge to me. And so contrasting, if we say contrasting, meaning it dominates the taste of the coffee, the food that we're taking. And for complementing, it means that it enhances the taste of the coffee. So that's why we need to make sure that we know the food pairing for every coffee that we're taking. And so yes, you can grab food if you're still
What's
not
the best
food.
for house blend? What do you think?
House blend is caramel shortbread, like a muffin, this one, blueberry muffin. This one, chocolate muffin, this one is also fruit cake muffin. I choose this one so that all the fruits are all together in one place. I don't want to. You can take this one or this one, sir. This is only for the aroma, so this is not everyone. Don't take the cinnamon.
I'll check with this.
Yeah, you can also. This one is butter paste.
Okay.
Buttermilk, that's the name of the bread. So yes, while we're taking food pairing, we need to make sure that we serve the coffee first and then food, serve and take food. And so after the locate, I'm gonna go after the food pairing about this coffee that I chose, house blend. So this house blend is rich and lively coffee, and when we say house, automatically we will feel that we are at home when we're drinking this coffee. And this iconic scoop and woody background represent to where this coffee started, which is a fireplace. And this coffee is the very first blend in Starbucks. It was created in 1971. So this is a deceptively simple coffee. So yeah, that's pretty much it. This is a medium roast coffee. So pretty much it. Maybe coffee tasting. And wow, sorry. I don't forget this one, very important thing. Ethically sourced coffee. This is a 100% ethically sourced coffee, which means this is acquired in a more responsible and sustainable way. And with the help of our farmers, coffee practices, we are ensuring the safetyness of the working condition of our farmers. That's why we also have 4 criteria of the coffee practices, which is the quality, taste in the cup, economic transparency, which is the price paid for farmers, price we are paying for the farmers. And for the social responsibility, it is the protecting the rights of the farmers. And last but not the least, and this is the environmental leadership, which is protecting our environment for future harm. That's sorry. I guess just
No, because like when there was a change of AOR, so actually they had a different contestant who would be participating, but that participant went to the other AOR. So she was chosen at quite after all.
yeah, it's like what I said.
so-
Okay, go.
Yeah.
Your name is already there. You don't have a choice. But also, I like it, no?
How many days you prepare?
To be honest, this speech helped my this speech. My manager helped me. I just memorized
What's
it
your
yesterday.
manager?
Sir Franny. I just memorized it yesterday. They're busy there, and I'm just focusing on what
Yeah, and they're
I'm
working on
saying.
1:1.
Yeah,
That's
one is the
the-
one.
But it's not look
But-
like you're
Yeah.
not unprepared. You look like
You're too much prepared with the things.
I sleepless nights. See why I see this.
And the one thing I like about you, you're too much honest.
Yeah, sorry, but
It's a good thing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, that is a good thing. Especially like a personality of a partner is very important during the competition. You're very humble, you're very honest.
Yes.
You have a great personality. But later we will get feedback. We'll ask
Yeah.
ask the sugars. I think it's
Okay, I'm ready.
Since you already mentioned about the ethical sourcing of the Starbucks commitment and the cafe practices,
Okay.
as we all know that we have the farmer support centers, right, from the
Yes.
3 different brewing regions. So can you at least state any one farmer support centers from all the 3 different brewing regions?
Okay, so we have one in Latin America, and we have 4, but another one. So
This
tell
one.
This one is fine.
Manizales, Colombia, that is founded in 2013.
Mhm.
And Africa, Rwanda, 2009. And Asia Pacific, Barista, Sumatra, Indonesia in 2016.
Wonderful. This one.
It's okay, it's fine.
Alright, so providing feedback, Andrea. So I'm a little bit impressed on your presentation, but this one is there's some lacking also on your presentation because during the competition it's very technical. All the knowledge is like we know, so we're just going to cross check all the knowledge you're going to mention to us. The competition is like very technical. Like for example, using the French press. Why are you using French press? Why it will affect the flavor of the coffee? What is importance of using the immersion brewing method? That is what lacking only. But all the information or knowledge you have was phenomenal. How you deliver the fundamentals, the flavor, the acidity, quality of the coffee was good, perfect for me. Storytelling, I love the way she how to deliver.
Yeah, yes. Even
I
same
don't
for
see
me.
any nervousness to you.
No, but it didn't show up to us that you were nervous. Like even though you just mentioned one time, oh, forget, but you, for us, like when you were delivering at that time, we didn't feel anything. So for me, it's for me. That you are very engaging, you are very very jolly type of person, and you can easily convince like this. I feel because some of the things you were supposed to miss out, but you easily catch up and cope up at that time, and you just deliver it. So I really like this. This is what we say. It's a quality of a champion, to be very honest. Because being a champion, when you're delivering it at that time, if you miss out something and You will
leave it.
just you will not show us that you missed
Forget
out, but
this
you
one.
forgot, but you engaged it in a very you just snatched from there.
Yeah, I
Okay, I just did I like this quality about it, and you are knowledgeable because since you said it's very less time for you to prepare, so
Yeah.
you didn't feel this thing. It's like you are studying since long, but no. It's very nice. If you would have studied more about it, and if someone is there to coach you and guide you, might be you would be the one. But yes, you
But we
delivered
have
it
a
well.
very
Yeah.
good, like what you call this, how do you mention, how do you explain this one? Potential.
Yes,
You have a great
exactly.
potential to become a great coffee ambassador.
Yeah.
But just continue,
Just-
no need to work in about knowledge delivery.
No,
personality.
that's all perfect.
Just skip it. What you need to be is more on technical side.
Yes.
Because competition is very technical. You know, for us, especially Sana, we compete together. I don't hate her because, you know, we're friends. But you know, it's competition.
Yeah.
We need to be more, even though 0.005 is very important in the competition.
Counts a lot. It makes a very big difference.
I forgot that one. I forgot to snatch.
Yeah.
But you have a very big potential.
Just for her, like you know, if we guide her, if we coach
She can
her,
be a
she
very-
can be.
She can, I see.
We can see the potential in her.
This
This is from Dendup. I'm from Bhutan. It has been my 1 year in Starbucks, and I came forward representing the MOT private. So today I will conduct a coffee tasting on Guatemala. So before I move on to coffee tasting, I want to share 4 fundamentals to brew a perfect coffee. First one is a proportion. Proportion means the ratio of water which extract the flavor. So I've used a 4C, that is 27 gram, and the best recipe that Starbucks made was 10 gram of coffee into 180 ml of water, 10 gram which is equivalent to 2 tablespoons. So next one is grind. I've used a coarse grind, that is French press to grind my coffee. I've used a French press because firstly it is easy to use, secondly it gives the flavor which is contained in the oil, and the brewing time is 4 minutes and shelf life of the coffee is 20 minutes. And third one is water. Water is very important because 98% of our coffee contains water, which means only 2% contains coffee. So we have to use fresh and filtered water. And for 4C, I've used 490 ml of water in the heat of 90 to 96 degrees Celsius and 195 to 205 Fahrenheit. And last one comes the freshness. Our coffee beans is guaranteed fresh because of the 4 components of packaging, that is polythene, polyester, nylon and foil. And we have a flavor lock in the middle of the package that also protects the coffee beans from the oxygen, and it's also called one-way bulb. And the most important thing in the freshness is the 4 enemies of the coffee beans, and that is heat, light, moisture and oxygen. Now I'll process to 4 steps of coffee tasting. First one is a smell. We have to smell the coffee to get the aroma. Aroma of coffee is determined by the growing region. So from this growing region, we can know the characteristics of the coffee. So growing region, there are 3 growing regions, that is Asian Pacific, Latin America, and the Africa. And we have to smell the coffee to get the aroma, because our mouth can distinguish only 5 tastes, that is sweet, salty, sour, bitter, and umami. But our nose can distinguish 3 lines of aroma. So we need to cover our cup half and we have to inhale the breath. How about, ma'am?
I find
What's
it
the
chocolate.
chocolate? How it's the
Say, chocolate for
For me, it's also like I smell the chocolate, And now comes the slurp. We have to slurp the coffee to get the acidity of coffee. Acidity of coffee is determined by the processing method, and in acidity, in the processing method, we have 3 processing methods, that is wash, semi-wash and natural. And its acidity is determined, categorized in 3, that is light, full, low, medium and high. Acidity means the tanginess of a coffee, so to say, but we have to slurp it loud because it also avoids burning our tongue, and it can reach the flavor where we can, it can reach the corner of our mouth palates where we can get the acidity. So, how about this? Medium. For sir? For me, like as I mentioned before, I'm mostly into tea. So for me, it's high. So now comes the third comes the locate. Again, we have to slurp the coffee to get the body. Body means weight of a coffee. It is determined by the roasting profile. There are 3 roasting profiles, that is blonde, dark, and medium. And roasting profile is also categorized in. Body is also categorized in heavy, light, medium and heavy, full. How about ma'am?
It's medium for me.
Same medium.
For me, it's also like medium to full. And now comes it's one of my favorite part, that is food pairing. We do a food pairing to see whether food gets complement with the coffee or contrast with the coffee, and also to enhance the flavor. There are the steps to do food pairing. First, we have to slurp the coffee, then eat the food, and again we have to slurp the coffee. If the after slurping the food, if the coffee gets sweeter, then it's complement. If we slurp the coffee, it get intense flavor. If we get intense flavor, then this food doesn't complement with the coffee. So here,
What's the best for wedding?
for this Guatemala, I prefer like chocolate.
This one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So for me, it's complementing with the coffee. Now comes the last part that is described. This bird here in the package, it's a quetzal bird. It's a national bird of the Guatemala, and we can see this in the currency also. And the Guatemala people, they celebrate this quetzal bird day in September 5th, and with Starbucks, it's also with supporting the Support Farmer Center. Because we are Starbucks supporting Farmer Center because like farmer centers are the one who travel around the world. They work with the farmers and they support the farmers to develop their growing methods and to control the cost of production and also to increase the harvest of the coffee. And they also like teach them to implement the cafe system. And under this, there are 4 fundamentals, Farmer Support Center. First one is quality, second one is economical transparency, third one is social responsibility, and third one is last one is environmental leadership. First one, Starbucks, Starbucks support the Farmer Center because of the 2 things, that is quality and the economic transparency. Because like quality is quality, they have to meet the standard of the Starbucks, and because of the economic transparency, that's why Starbucks joined. quality, the higher the quality they produce the coffee, higher the price they are getting. And economic transparency is the financial transparency where they are giving to our farmers. And third one is social support, is the where they don't give, allow the labor child, and they are also supporting by the education systems, health systems and all. And the last one is environmental leadership, where they always look on the impact on the environmental. This much. Thank you.
All done.
Thanks.
Thank you for that one, Sonam. Alright, Sonam, so now we're going to ask you a question and later we'll provide you feedback about your performance.
Sure.
So you mentioned earlier the ethical sourcing in cafe practice, so no need for this one. Now, the question is, you mentioned earlier about the Farmer Support Center. So, can you give us Farmer Support Center on each coffee growing region? At least one.
One.
On each coffee growing region.
Costa Rica. It's from Latin America in 2004, and the Ramanda in Africa in 2009, and Sumatra, Indonesia in 2016.
Sorry, I'm eating.
No problems.
Okay, Sonam. Okay, Sonam. You had a very good introduction related. You said about the Nescafe and your father, and I really liked it. You were loud and clear, but there's some nervousness which is stopping you and holding you back to deliver it more, right? And yes, I feel like there was no connection as you have 4 minutes for this one steeping, right? But you still 1 minute was left. At least you can utilize the time and you can connect it very well at that movement. But you didn't do it. You were just waiting for that. At least we just can push you like you want to utilize, but you didn't do. That was missing. At least you can improvise it more later. And yes, the last conclusion part, it was missing, and we didn't know that you will just stop. We were just trying to listen something more from
No,
your
I'm
side.
waiting.
Yeah,
Okay,
but I don't know why did you stop yourself?
That's
So-
why I thought it's still not finished. You will get that something.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's up from my side.
Let's start with the coffee tasting. For enjoying a perfect coffee, there are 4 important fundamentals which are proportion, grind, water and freshness. Firstly, the proportion. Proportion is the ratio of coffee versus water. Starbucks had made a perfect recipe for brewing method, which is 10 grams of coffee in 180 ml of water. As I have taken 4C, the recipe for 4C is 27 grams of coffee in 490 ml of water. And second is grind. There is no universal grind in Starbucks. Every brewing method has its own different brewing grind. Like for French press, I grind it as a coarser grind. We can find a coarser grind in 9 setting in beating machine. The coarser grind can be given example of a table salt. Third is water. As our coffee is 98% of water, we should always use clean, clear filter water. We can also use the tap water, but the tap water should be free from any added flavor or a smell of sulfur, iron, iodine, etc. Also, the temperature matters too much in brewing method, which is the temperature which I have used is 90 to 96 degree Celsius, and in Fahrenheit it's 195 degree Fahrenheit to 205 degree Fahrenheit. And lastly, the freshness. Our coffee packet is guaranteed fresh because of its special packaging, which is made up of 4 important components, which are nylon, polyester, foil and polythene, which protects from the 4 enemies of the coffee, which are heat, light, sun, oxygen, moisture. Our coffee packet also has a flavor lock, which is one side wall, which releases coffee gassing from the packet and doesn't allow to enter the oxygen. And once the coffee packet is been manufactured and roasted and placed in this coffee, its shelf life runs into 34 weeks. Once the coffee packet has been opened, its shelf life runs into 7 days. When the coffee packet is being grind, it shelf press turns into 24 hours. When the coffee is being brewed for the French press, it shelf press turns into 20 minutes. And also the steeping time for this coffee is 4 minutes. As I have 1 minute left, I would like to share the story of the, as we all know that this is the birthplace of the this is considered as the birthplace of the coffee. I would like to share the story of Hadi, who was a goat header, who always used to send his goat for reading grass. He always used to, he observed that when goat used to leave from morning, they used to be very lazy. While coming back, you notice that the goats were very energetic. They used to dance. One day he also went with his goats and see that the goats are enjoying some of the cherries in the forest. He brought that cherries and he also had one bite of that. And then he also started dancing with that goats. Here the first coffee was in. Here the first coffee came in this world. So here almost the coffee.
No need for 20 minutes.
No?
We have time.
No, we
Right, for
already
20
set the
minutes.
timer.
Yeah, it was 20 seconds before I did.
Yeah, it's okay.
So,
Okay.
For 20 minutes. You will time 10 minutes.
you had.
Yeah, that's
also
what you
you
said.
know-
We have already set the
Because you
timer.
will finish by 15, so now it's for 20
Okay,
minutes.
sorry. So let's start with the coffee tasting. As our sleeping time is completed, I have placed this same. Before starting with the coffee tasting, we should always clean our pilot so that there should not be any disturbance between the coffee and our pilot. There is also 4 steps in coffee tasting, which is smell, slurp, locate and describe. Firstly, we need to smell the coffee to get the aroma of the coffee, and aroma helps to identify from which growing this coffee came from. In Starbucks, coffee has been grown in the coffee belt, which is Asia Pacific, Latin America and Africa, as Ethiopia comes from the Africa growing region. So let's smell the coffee, and there's also a reason our pilot can detect only 5 tastes at a time, whereas our nose can detect trillions of aroma. They should always smell the coffee before starting with the coffee tasting. Yeah, we can cover the cup with the 3 fingers and the smell. Yeah, I can feel the citrus flavor. How can you feel,
I
Sana?
feel very berries.
For you, chocolate. Chocolate. Yeah. Now let's move to the second step. We need to slug the coffee to get the acidity. Acidity of the coffee can be determined by the processing method. And if I talk about what is acidity, acidity is the tangy sensation which we feel on the jawline. Like whenever we have oranges, we have a lingering sensation in our palate. Whenever, as compared to banana, it's clear, there's nothing. Let's slurp the coffee clear and loud. So avoid our tongue binding and spread the coffee throughout our palate. And acidity can be described as low, medium and high. And for me, it's medium. What do you judges?
Medium for me.
Medium.
Yeah, now let's move towards the body. If I talk about what is the body, what is the weight of the coffee, how long coffee is maintaining its flavor in our palate. The body of the coffee is determined by the roasting profile. In Starbucks, we have 3 roasting profiles, which is blonde, medium and dark. And Ethiopia is one of the medium roasting profile of the coffee among them. So it can be detected, if I talk about the example of the body, we can compare with the full fat milk and skim milk. So let's love the coffee. Yeah, for me it was medium, but for you judges? Same. So let's move us toward the favorite step, which is food pairing. The reason why I do food pairing is to check whether the food is getting complement or getting concentrated. If the food is getting complement, it means the food is enhancing the flavor of the coffee. So let's look. We have berries, citrus, and lemon cookies.
Raisins or what?
Berries.
Okay.
Yes. There is also step in food pairing, which is first we need to slurp the coffee, then have a pair of our food, then again slurp the coffee. Yeah, I can see that the food is completely enhancing the flavor of the coffee. For it is enhancing. Yeah.
It's like it's a little bit juicy. It's good.
So let's move to the last step, which is described. This is our beautiful packaging of the Ethiopia coffee. As we know, this is the birthplace of the coffee. As here we can see the ethical sourcing. Not only this coffee, in our Starbucks we have all the coffees are 100% ethically sourcing with 100% Arabica coffee. Only top 3% of the Arabica coffee is selected by the Starbucks. Here we can see the Jabina. The photo which you can see, it's the Jabina, and the cup which is there, it's a ceramic cup which is called as a sini. In Ethiopia they have a culture of having a coffee ceremony which is conducted by the eldest female member of the family, and the serving is done in that manner, like the oldest to the eldest. Also they are the one, I can say that they are the one who enjoy the freshest coffee, like they directly pick the cherries from the plants and directly roast it in a pan and grind it in a heating and directly brew this coffee in this pot. On the left hand side of the packet we can see there is a story mentioned over here, and also here we can see the body and the acidity of the coffee. And the right hand side we can see how the perfect recipe of the coffee. And I would like to connect this coffee with myself, like as Ethiopian peoples are carrying out the coffee ceremony tradition by year on year and generation by generation. I would also keep on carrying my coffee passion, and also as we can see in Starbucks, on every special occasion we conduct a coffee tasting. Therefore, I feel this both the coffee and the Starbucks organization as the same. Thank you, Papa, for giving me this opportunity, and you can share your valuable feedback with us.
You're done?
Yeah.
Still have 5 minutes. You're done?
That's the first.
Alright. So Avi, we're going to ask, later we'll provide you feedback with regards to your performance, but now we're going to ask some coffee craft questions, or what is your own understanding about this matters. So for example, you're the barista.
I'm sorry.
How we will going to educate us with regards to our Starbucks commitment in buying and consumers coffee and coffee practices.
I like all the coffee are 100% alcoholic. So if the customers are buying from us, it's like they are not only helping us, they are indirectly helping the farmers. Like we know that there's a Starbucks, there's a cafe practice, there's a program called cafe practice which have 4 important categories, which is quality, economy, employment, transparency. It indirectly helps them to grow, also it also helps to develop the family, and there's no pregnant lady working in the farm and all.
Afternoon, Sir Kian, Sana. So my name is Jeremy Jan Aguilar, presenting Jabria Block 1 DT. So before we start our coffee tasting, let us first discuss the 4 fundamentals of brewing. So we have proportion, grind, water, and freshness. So proportion is the ratio of water to coffee. So the standard is 10 grams of coffee with 180 ml of water. So I have here is my 4-cup press. So this one comes with 27 grams of coffee and 490 ml of water. Then next is the grind. So the grind determines how long the coffee will be in contact with water and how much flavor should be extracted. The grind is depending on what brewing method are we going to use. So I have here the coffee press, the immersion brewing method. So I grind my coffee using the kneading number 9 of our kneading machine, or coarse grind or French press grind. Next is water. So 98% of our coffee is water. So there are 2 compositions of when it comes to water: purity and temperature. Purity, we have to make sure we are using a fresh and clean water without the taste of chlorine, sulfur, and iron.
Then to fully extract the flavor of our coffee, it is important that temperature should be 90 to 96 degrees Celsius or 195 to 205 degrees Fahrenheit. Then last but not the least, the freshness of our coffee. Making sure that we are producing a coffee that is fresh. Starbucks made a unique packaging for our coffee. This is what we call the flavor lock. So the flavor lock is made of polyethylene, polyester, nylon, and foil. And also here in front, there is a one-way bulb. So this one-way bulb allows the coffee gases to escape, but keeping out the oxygen. So why are we keeping out the oxygen? Because coffee has four enemies. We have moisture, heat, oxygen, and light. If our coffee is exposed to these four enemies, it will affect the flavor of our coffee. And with that, an unopened pack of whole bean, it has a shelf life of 34 weeks. And then once opened, it's 7 days. And then once grind, it's 24 hours. And once brewed, we have to consume our coffee within 20 minutes. Okay. So, yeah. So, before we start our coffee tasting, of course, I will like to tell you something. So, our coffee. So, coffee has its origin. All of it has its own origin, has its own processing method. That is why it has different factors. There are different factors that gives the unique flavor and the unique quality they have for each coffee. And me as a person, I connect myself with the coffee. I have my origin, I have my processing method, my family, the factors in my life, and the people around me, the events in my life, honed me to be the person I am today, the one standing in front of me. So, okay, I'm just happy. Let's start with our coffee tasting. So the first step of our coffee tasting is to smell the aroma of our coffee. Why are we smelling the aroma of our coffee? This is because our nose can detect trillions of smells, while our mouth can only distinguish 5 flavors. So that is sweet, sour, salty. Sorry.
It's okay. The timer has been set already, don't worry.
Sweet, sour, salty, bitter, and umami. So this aroma of our coffee can be described as fruity, floral, nutty, chocolatey. And smelling the aroma of the coffee, we will be able to have a hint of what its flavor and which growing region it came from. So I invite you to smell the aroma of our coffee. So, Sir Kian, what do you
Chocolate.
Chocolate, yeah. So, chocolate. So, the aroma of house blend is chocolate. For me, it's nutty actually because this coffee came from Latin American region, which is known for producing coffee with flavor notes of cocoa, chocolate, and nuts. Cocoa, spice, and nuts. Sorry about that. And then, for the next is to slurp our coffee. The louder, the better. To make sure it will spray across your palate and reach its tasting zone, and also to avoid burning your tongue. Let us determine the acidity of our coffee. So what is the acidity? Acidity is the tanginess or tartness of the coffee. You can differentiate it by drinking orange juice. So there will be a sensation at the tip or side of your tongue, or sometimes at the back of your jawbone. So it will be described as low acidity, medium acidity, or high acidity. So Miss Anna, what can you say about the acidity of our coffee?
I find it medium.
Medium. So it depends. It's not like everyone has the same experience how we taste our coffee because we have a different all have different palates. So this coffee is a medium acidity. Why? Because it underwent wash processing method. So wash processing method, it highlights the acidity of our coffee. That's why it has a medium acidity. Next is to slurp again our coffee. And describe the body of our coffee. So the body is the mouthfeel or heaviness of the coffee in our tongue. So you can differentiate it by drinking a non-fat milk, which is will be light on your mouth, while the full-fat milk will be heavy and there will be lingering flavors in it in your mouth. So for me, the body of our coffee is medium because it's not that fleeting nor overwhelming in the tongue. You can actually not just have a slight flavor in it. So medium body because also it's a medium roast coffee. That's why. Then I have here for our describe my food pair. So when it comes to food pair, we have complementary food pair and then contrasting food pair. So complementary highlights the flavors of our coffee. Then the contrasting, it overpowers the flavor of our coffee. So house blend, it is best paired with fruit cakes, muffins, to highlight its chocolate and nutty flavor. So I invite you. I have your food pair. Yes, so I have
What is the best here?
this one is a fruit cake and blueberry. So does it complement you does it highlight it's the chocolatey and nutty flavor of the coffee? Nice, okay. So now I will tell you something about house blend through its packaging. So in the packaging, house blend is named house blend because it's what do you call this one? It originated it originated in our first store in Pike Place. So as you can see, there is this scoop. This scoop is symbolizes the first act of blending because house blend is the first blend we made in 1971. Before Starbucks doesn't sell coffee like espresso beverage, we started as a coffee shop that is selling whole bean, and house blend is one of those whole bean they are selling in Pike Place before. And as you can see, we have here is the for here cups, the mug. Then we have the for the cold beverages, and then there is also the coffee press and the chairs. So this one symbolizes the Pike Place store because they wanted to create something that will remind them that this is Starbucks. They wanted to create a flavor that when the customer drink it, it will say Starbucks. This is Starbucks blend. That is house blend. And also in the packaging, you could see here the commitment of Starbucks. This is to be able to at 100% ethically source our coffee. So with that, they partnered with Conservation International in 1998 to be able to make a prerequisite for ethical sourcing. That is what we call now cafe practices. So cafe practices is coffee and farmers equity. So there are 4 prerequisites for the cafe practices. We have quality, economic transparency, social responsibility, and environmental leadership. So quality, making sure that the coffee we are sourcing will pass the high standards of our quality team through cupping. So the higher the quality of our coffee, the higher the price will be paid to the farmers. Then next is economic transparency. This one is making sure that they were able to submit evidence of payment. So this one is all throughout the food supplier all the way down to the farmers. They have to submit the evidence of payment. Next is social responsibility. This one is about the welfare of those people working or laboring in the farm. Not only the farmers, also us, making sure that we are paid. We are having the same welfare is is sorry. So about the rights of the farmers and everything was there. Also, there will be benefits, the housing and access to housing, educational benefits, health benefits, and so on. Then next will be the environmental leadership. This one is not just about us sourcing coffee, but minimizing the negative effects from farming. Also, we will be able to contribute to the ecosystem. Sorry about it. Okay, so what else about environmental leadership? So this is making sure also that the farm we're using is healthy enough to support farming. Okay, so that's it. That's it about my coffee tasting. I hope you were able to learn something from me. And then, once again, my name is Jill, your aspiring district barista champion. Thank you. Have a nice day.
Thank you for that. I think this one is okay.
Yeah.
This one. I want to get more here.
Yeah. So, as you all know that we have farmer support centers, right?
Yes.
Yes. So, can you at least list one of the farmer support centers from 3 different growing regions?
So,
Three different growing regions from Latin America, Africa, and Asia.
okay, so for Latin America, we have San Jose, Costa Rica. That is on 2004, the first Farmer Support Center. Then Guatemala City, Guatemala. And then we have, that is in 2005, 2009, Kigali, Rwanda. Then 2011, Mbeya, Tanzania. Oh my God, sorry,
You
sorry.
mentioned Latin America, Africa, Asia Pacific.
Asia Pacific, we have Yunnan, China, and Yunnan, China, and so Indonesia.
Good job. So Jill,
Yes.
you meant your coffee is house blend.
Yes.
Can you tell a little bit, like, what do you think the story behind ethical sourcing of this coffee? Like, for example, you're the barista, we're the customers. So how you're going to explain to me the ethical sourcing story behind house blend?
Ethical sourcing story behind house blend. So, first, house blend is actually from four countries in Latin America. So this one is Mexico, Costa Rica, Colombia, and Puerto Rico. So as I said, there is a farmer support center also in this different places, which is the Colombia, Mexico. There is one in Mexico, new one, the Capas, Mexico. That was in 2016 actually. That is the Farmer Support Center. So when it comes to Farmer Support Center, this is on the farm support for the farmers on that certain place. So they were able to come there, and there are open source agronomists that will help the farmers learn more about their farming to elevate their craft. So that is what about house blend is.
I think this one is
Okay, so yeah, so most of the countries that this blend came from, they're committed to being able to support the farmers. And that's it.
More about ethical sourcing.
More about ethical.
That's it.
Yes.
Thank you very much, Jill.
Yeah.
I'll go first. I like your smell, but it's inconsistent, especially in the beginning, and you can see that, like on the middle part, you feel comfortable. But during that one, after food pairing, you will rattling. You know, you have too much So during the competition, you're supposed to be more confident. If you don't know what you're going to mention or tell, just stop, pause, then continue. Then instead of, like, because if you're doing like it means that you're not sure about what you're going to mention to the judges. But your strength, you have a very good tone of voice. You're very knowledgeable. I can see that one. You know, all the things that you mentioned, talking points about the coffee, Farmer Sports Center, cafe practices was on point. So I like that one. Reflection, I want more, but you have a good reflection about your coffee. But I want the reflection usually during the last part. So that, you know, on the last part of the coffee tasting, you have a big impact. Good review about the coffee, and I see you have a very good personality and you're very humble. So that is what usually supposed to be a great champion, especially you're a sport champion. So that's continue to inspire others, and you have a very good presentation right now.
Okay, for me, as he mentioned, we have the same feedbacks every time.